Coming up next, Generation Z won't work for certain big tech companies. We'll talk about the peer factor. We'll take your calls, your chats, and more. It starts right now. Coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville. You are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do that, and how you can get there. I'm Ken. Welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. So excited to have you with us. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. Now, we'll get to your chat questions a little bit later in the program right here on the laptop. And so to get it started here as you're joining in and you're watching, let's get a thumbs up if you feel like a breakthrough's coming. How about that? Let's get a thumbs up. You don't even know what it is. You just feel like it's coming, or you're just saying, hey, Ken, I am expecting it. And so because I expect it, I'm going to begin to think about it. I'm going to begin to look for it. Let's get a thumbs up there. Well, interesting article came across my desk from Business Insider recently. Gen Z, this is the generation below the millennials. And these are those that are born 1996 to 2010, all right? So Gen Z college graduates. They think that companies like Facebook, Google, other big tech companies are harmful. They won't even consider working for them. Now, this is fascinating when you understand that, let's just take Google, Amazon, and Facebook have shown up in the top 10 most desirable places to work. They've got super cool offices, great culture, all these little fun things that, big time companies with all kinds of money can offer. And yet, even though these companies are ranking high on sites like LinkedIn and Glassdoor, Facebook recruiters are saying that new hires have fallen by as much as 40%. And here's why. Generation Z, they have heard the news about some of the scandals, whether it be political stuff on Facebook or whether it be privacy concerns. If it's been big tech and controversial news, here's what happens. They start to wonder, are these good companies? Are they doing good things? Are they big, giant, evil empire? Think Star Wars, And so they start to wonder, well, wait a second. Are they doing good, or are they just about making money? And this is a big deal to Gen Z. They are looking at a company's social footprint. The social responsibility of the organization is a big deal to these young workers. They're coming out of college. They're going to continue to come into the workforce. And the reason I share this is parents, leaders, those of you who want to start a company one day or have started a company now, you run a small business, whatever it is, or you are somebody who goes, you know what, I feel the same way, then understand that this is a real factor and companies are going to have to react to this. And you're going to see more and more companies kind of saying, okay, here's what we do. This is what we offer. This is our product or service. And this is what we're doing in our community and in the world at large. This is a real factor. And we're seeing, talent coming out of schools who say, I'm not going to go. And you got Facebook trying to hire engineers, and their recruiting success has dropped by 40%. That is very, very significant. Again, I share this with you because this is a factor. This is going to come and go. This is the mindset of this newest generation, Gen Z, in the workforce, and you need to pay attention. 844-747-2577 is the number, 844-747-2577. You're watching live right now and you're going, I'm a little nervous. I don't know if I should call in. You should. That's why I'm here. And call live right now. If you get us when we're not live, leave a voicemail at the same number, 844-747-2577, and we'll work with you. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. Let's go to the phones. Eric joins us in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Eric, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you doing today?
I am living the dream, Eric. What's going on?
Oh, I have a few questions here about my passions and which path to take.
Okay.
I've talked to you in Kansas City at the Military Leadership about doing my CNC machining work.
Okay.
And since then, I've kind of developed a couple more passions.
Okay.
One of them is I thought about becoming a financial coach.
Okay.
And also getting into racing as well.
What kind of racing? What are we talking about?
Professional drag racing.
Drag
with
racing.
The NHRA. Yep, with the NHRA.
Okay, and your phone broke up. Remind me, you said we talked in Kansas City about you doing something. What did you say that was?
With the CNC machine work.
So a machinist. Am I understanding this?
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
great. All right. So you call me and you go, Ken, I just need to know which is the best path. That's essentially what you're asking me. So
Correct,
I just want to know what your heart's telling you. If I made you choose one of these three right now, Eric, and when you chose it, I guaranteed success, no failure, which one would you choose?
Probably the CNC machine work.
Why?
Because I feel like I can do like I don't know how to explain it.
Well, sure you do.
Like I could do like a custom prototype work and that sort of thing for companies. And if a person wanted to do like custom trophies or parts and things like that for people.
Right. And so why is that enjoyable to you to think about that? What about that work itself and then the result of the work give you the juice?
Seeing the finished product.
Yeah.
Going from like a piece of raw material to a finished product is just pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great knowing that you created that and you actually like the creating, not just standing back and looking at it, correct?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And let me ask you this. Is that what you do best? I mean, that work, being a machinist, allows you to use the talent and the skills that you bring to the table that are the best of your best, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning about how to do this machine work and all that. And
right, but I mean, you have the raw talent. You have your mind thinks that way, and you've got the dexterity with your hands. Okay, so what we did is we just verified. Is being a machinist in your sweet spot? And the answer is it absolutely is. Now, let's look at the other two. I'm just curious, and I'm going to tie this together for you in just a moment. But what would you rank the other two? Which would be number 2 and which would be number 3, if I could give you success?
Number 2 would be the NHRA racing, and then the third one would be the financial coaching. Okay.
Now, the reason I ask you that is I don't think you have to choose one and throw the other two on the ash heap of history. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the choice. I think the machinist is your passionate, missional contribution through your work. I think drag racing can be a really fun, awesome hobby. And I also think that being a financial coach is also something that you can do on the side just to give yourself away to others. And both of those things are going to give you meaning, because one is in an entertainment thing. I really enjoy competing. And that gives me the juice when I compete. Am I on the nerve, Eric?
Yeah.
And then the financial coach, well, that touches the nerve of serving. You like to serve and guide others. Am I on that nerve?
Right. And that's sort of along with the same lines with the machine work too, like serving people with their products and whatnot.
That's right. So my point is, I think you can do all three of these, just different capacities. And I think. Go ahead.
One other question is, like, to get into this, each one is going to cost anywhere from like $1,500 up to like $3,000 or $4,000, or if not more, to get started in this.
Yeah, well,
I'm also in the process of being in the BS2, and I have about just under $40,000 left to pay off.
Okay, well, so here's the deal. Okay, I'm a part of Ramsey Solutions. Dave Ramsey's my mentor. You got to work the baby steps. Are you familiar with Dave's baby steps?
Yes.
Okay, great. Mm-hmm. So here's the deal. You pay off the debt, okay? And after you pay off the debt, you get your emergency fund. That's baby step 3. Get that 3 to 6 months. And then what I would do is you begin to save up the money. You cash flow the money after baby step 3, or as a part of baby step 3. Get that emergency fund in place, and then save up the $1,500, which won't be difficult for you after you've accomplished baby step 2 and 3. And so you get the $1,500 and that gets you the pays the way for you to get qualified as a machinist. And that's what you do. And now you're ready to go. I mean, we're clear. Stage 1's get clear. You're clear. Stage 2's get qualified. Well, you've got some financial stuff you got to handle first before you actually begin the process of getting qualified. And so this is not that difficult. It's not that far away, and it's absolutely worth the wait, because I want you to do this cash and be free to pursue being a machinist. And so once we get the job of being a machinist, and we're working and we're saving because you've got the Dave Ramsey way and you have no debt, it's not going to take you long to get the money you need to get into being a drag racer. So again, none of this is difficult. This is following the steps, and this is following the process and being patient. It doesn't all happen at once, folks, but it's always worth it. It's always worth it. Let's go to Orlando, Florida, where Jared is on the line. Jared, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken.
Jared. How you doing?
Honored to have a few moments of your time.
Well,
I'm great, man. Grateful and blessed.
Well, you're a good man. The honor's all mine. How can I help?
Well, first off, Ken, I got to tell you, it's a great radio face, and I'm sure Madison is rolling her eyes right about now. Am I right?
Yeah. So you've tuned in on YouTube and you go, this dude should be on radio. Let's turn the cameras off. That's what you're telling me.
No, keep them on, man. You're good. You're right in the spot where you belong.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, Madison is rolling her eyes. She does not like when I get too many compliments. She needs to keep me humble, and I love her for that. But yeah, thank you, bro. So what's going on today?
Absolutely, man. Well, I'll tell you, I am currently in a toxic environment, doing work I'm great at that I absolutely love, and I foresee an industry shift coming my way. Mm-hmm. And I sell hope for a living, personal hope, helping people avoid orthopedic surgeries using their own stem cells. And my wife and I just started leading our first FPU course last night, and my inner core is ignited by that. So short of moving my family a few states away, how would you suggest I meet people at the company where my dream job is?
So you're getting now. What is the work that you want to do? Let me understand that.
I want to continue selling hope.
Okay, I got it. So it's not the stem cell stuff, what you're doing now.
Well, the only problem with that is I would love to do that. The only issue with that is the stereotypical stigma behind that industry has yet to fully evolve. And frankly, I don't have 20 years to wait for that.
Okay, all right. You understand why I'm asking this, because you threw all this, Ken. I love what I do, and I love the work and the results, but I'm in a toxic environment. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I want to sell hope. And I want to move over here. So I'm trying to understand. I don't want you to just dramatically leave something that you're really passionate about just because, well, it's going to take a while. So I'm tracking with you, and I understand. So I'll move on. But really make sure that you are really truly pursuing something that you're going to love to do. So how do I make connections several states away to get hired at a place that I don't know anybody? All right, so this is a simple process. This is a math game, Jared, okay? How many people do you know? I want you to think, and just give me a ballpark figure. How many people do you know in your close personal network or acquaintances? How many?
My close personal network, I'd probably say with acquaintances, maybe a few dozen.
Oh, come on. You're kidding me. I'm talking
at the very least.
Friends and family plus acquaintances, only 12?
Friends and family plus acquaintances, and you open it up like that, there's probably a few hundred at least.
Yeah. All right, now, just for fun, how many people do you think those few hundred people know?
Oh, exponentially.
There thousands. We go. Now we're in the thousands. So all of a sudden, what we've got to do is we've got thousands of potential connections. And those thousands of potential connections, we just need to simply find out where the connections lead me to. Do you know somebody that works at this company 2 states away? That's where we go. Now we start with things like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is great for information, not connection. You want to connect in person or through a person, but LinkedIn, Facebook, all your social media things. You think about college friends. You think about high school friends. You think about all those acquaintances. And here's what has to happen. You have to be intentional to tell everybody that you know, hey, I'm looking to move to this state because I want to work for company XYZ. Do you know anybody that works there? Do you know that anybody that has a connection there? Let me give an example of what happened recently in this lobby at Ramsey Solutions. So I met a guy in the lobby last week, Joe. Nice guy, watched the show. He sat right out here and watched the show, and I came out to say hi to him after the show. And he says to me, hey, Ken, listen, Financial Peace, Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University changed my life. Changed my life. And I literally just drove 6 hours to try to meet somebody in the lobby here today because I want to work at Ramsey Solutions. He says, Ken, what do I do? So now you know what I got to do, folks. I go, now look, man, I'm not walking you around. We don't do that. People don't show up in the lobby and then I start walking you around in offices going, this guy wants a job. Like, we're not going to do that. But let me tell you what I did do. And so I'm going to tell you what I said to him. And this is my answer to you, Jared. I said to him, I go, you're telling me you don't know anybody? I walked him right to this moment where I am with you. He goes, Ken, I just haven't figured out anybody that I know that knows somebody here at Ramsey Solutions. I go, wait a second. I trapped him. I say, you just told me that Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University changed your life. He goes, it's true. It's absolutely true. I go, were you the coordinator? He goes, yeah, I was the coordinator. I go, every FPU coordinator talks to somebody in this building. A salesperson in our Financial Peace department coaches them and guides them. He goes, oh man, you're totally right. And he said the guy's name. One of my coworkers. He said the guy's name, and I forget which one of it was, but he's like, oh yeah. And I go, how many times you talk to so-and-so? He goes, a lot. I go, do you think he might vouch for you here? He goes, I think he might. I go, well, that's where you start. He looked at me like I had just given him the formula to cold fusion. And all I did was what you have to do, Jared, which is sit down and think and keep thinking and keep thinking and keep thinking and keep turning over rocks until you find the connection where somebody goes, hey, I know Jared. Jared's a great guy. He's got all the skill sets. He's got the passion. He's a culture fit. He wants to work for you all. I'm vouching for him. Would you be willing to walk Jared's resume in to your coworker who's the hiring manager? Now, is this going to happen overnight, Jared? No, it doesn't. But if you work it long enough, you are about 3 to 4 degrees from about anybody. But you gotta work it. You can't just sit there for 5 minutes with a Snickers bar and think it's going to go bing. It doesn't work that way. You got to work it. Now, Madison, if Jared doesn't have a copy of my best-selling book, The Proximity Principle, please give him a copy. My gift to you, Jared. There's a specific chapter in the back of that book called Web of Connections. You need to read it and you need to do it. 844-747-2577. Let's talk about Web of Connections for a moment. How about this? The team launched the Ken Coleman Show Facebook community on Facebook several months ago. And Kathryn, the social media maven, and I get in there every once in a while and just watch the conversation, and it's so awesome. The connections are happening, like right now, this moment. So you need to join that community because it's a community of listeners and viewers who want to do work that matters, and they're encouraging each other. And I'm telling you, it's awesome to see the questions come from somebody, and everybody jumps in. This is what Ken would say, or this is what I did. And they just jump in and encourage each other. So it's a wonderful, wonderful group of like-minded, like-hearted people. So just go. It's free. And again, I'm not in there selling you anything. This is your community, and it's absolutely fantastic. It'll really encourage you. Search the Ken Coleman Show official Facebook community on Facebook and join it. All right, let's go to the chat room. Here we go. John writes in, hey, Ken, how do I ask for a higher salary even though I may not be completely qualified for the position and will need some training? Okay, don't ask for the higher salary. Because if you're not sure that you're completely qualified and won't need some additional training, don't do anything. So let's go to, do I need more qualification and training to then be eligible for this position? If the answer is no, then you go do that, John. Then you throw your name in the hat, and as a result of getting that gig, hopefully the higher salary is attached to that. So this is pretty simple. Let's go to Kathryn Jade Jarvie. I'm a serial job hopper, and I can't seem to stick to jobs long term. How do I get out of this funk so I can keep working and get back to school to pursue my passion? Well, we have to find out why you're job hopping, and this is you got to answer this question. Are you hopping jobs because you're bored? Are you hopping jobs because they're bad fits? Are you hopping jobs because you're having a string of really bad culture experiences? I mean, those are the basic ideas here. I mean, you're leaving the job for a reason. Are you leaving it because of poor leadership, toxic culture, all those things that I just gave you? Those are all reasons for why you would hop. And so we want to get to the source of the hopping, and then we go, okay, now we don't want to be hopping. We want to be growing. We actually want to be investing and digging deep. We want to be planting roots. Now, I'm okay with moving from time to time, but hopping should never be a part of what I believe is a true journey of progress, because there is no next if you don't win in the now. And so you got to plant some roots, and then we can transplant. Joe knows I love landscaping, and I have transplanted many bushes in my day where I thought, well, they didn't work there. And so when do you transplant? Excuse me. You transplant, number one, when the bush is healthy enough to be able to do it. Number two, you got to do it in cold weather, right? So you got to get that plant established before you transplant it. And so I want you to figure out why you're hopping, and then I want you to just do the sweet spot exercise and engage here in the show. Maybe call it on the show. And let's just figure out what it is that you do best, what it is that you really love to do, and what are the results that really fire you up. And when we can figure that out, that's the sweet spot. And then what we're going to do is going to be able to find multiple ways that you do that. Now we're going to have a clear direction, a purposeful direction, and we're going to plant some roots, and then we're going to grow. So that's the secret. Let's go to Austin here. I am currently in college, but working full-time to get my debt-free degree. Way to go, Austin. I hate my day job, but it pays really well. However, it takes away from, I can't quite see this here in the window, folks. You're going to have to bear with me. Let me move this here. It takes away from my, well, that's just not working, from my schooling. So here's the deal. If you hate your day job, but it pays really well, I'd still stick with it because it is funding your future. Now, this is taken away from your schooling. So this is one of those wrinkles where I'd say, okay, then you're going to have to go get a different day job that again takes care of your current stability, that's funding your future, and then allows you to do what you need to do. Okay, or you stay in that job because it pays really well, and I really don't care at this point if you hate it, if it's temporary, because it's really just funding your future, and maybe it's going to take a little longer. You have to adjust your schedule. So, whatever the scenario is, my advice is, hey, you're going to need a stable day job. So I'm okay if you switch day jobs to something you don't hate, but you're going to have stability, and we're going to have to adjust around stability. Stability is what's funding my future. So if I can't take this many classes, tough. I'm just going to have to take a little bit longer because I've got to be stable. I've got to earn money. So don't sacrifice your future by hurting yourself financially just because you want to get done faster. No, stay stable financially. Have some patience. Be a big boy. You'll get there. Let's see here. Let's do one more. I love these questions. Kate writes in, how do you know when to stop being persistent, trying to get into one location and move on and look for another opportunity? Well, I think when you have had multiple opportunities to get hired and they keep choosing somebody else, I'd take that as a sign and I'd move on. However, if the opportunities haven't presented themselves yet, I like staying persistent there. So if something hasn't opened yet, they know about you, staying in front of them, right? Continuing to let them know you want to be there, why you want to be there, how you can help them. And that I like being persistent there because the opportunity has yet to present itself, and being persistent is just, hey, remember me, don't forget about me. You got a spot. I'm really interested. That's where I want you to be persistent. If you've had multiple chances in this company and they're shooting you down, it's just not a good fit. It's time to move on, right? I've joked about this before on the show. This is like the dating life scenario where guys, you keep asking the girl out and she keeps having to wash her hair, and it's unbelievable how every different night you present to her as a potential date, she's washing her hair. She's always got something to do. She's the busiest person you've ever met. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. I have tried to go out with this girl for 3 months, and I've got multiple dates, and she's always busy. Wow. No, dude, she's not busy. She doesn't want to go out with you. And so it's the same situation here. Multiple times interviewing, multiple times picking other people. I'd move on, or certainly get some other options, right? Maybe do the old start paying attention to somebody else, and all of a sudden her schedule frees up. I don't know. I don't know if that ever actually worked. Did that ever actually work, Joe? I don't know if that works. I think that may be a movie's theme. You know what I mean? So, I want to be where somebody wants me. And so persistent towards those opportunities, that's good. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. So I did some research recently, and I want everybody to really lock in right now, because if you are not where you want to be, I want you to think about that for a second. If you're not where you want to be, let's throw you some categories for a moment. Maybe you're not where you want to be professionally. Maybe you're not where you want to be relationally. Maybe you're not where you want to be spiritually. Maybe you're not where you want to be physically. You're not where you want to be. I want you to consider the peer factor as a major factor in why you aren't where you want to be and how to get where you want to be. The peer factor. So Harvard has done a study that is now close to 80 years old. It's about the power of relationships in our lives. And there's a professor that is there currently, David McClellan, and there's some unbelievable data. And I want to share this piece of data with you. This is indisputable. And it's going to shock some of you, but I hope it sets you free. And here it is. The people you spend the most time with are accounting for 95% of your success or failure. So let me say that a little slower so you get that. You think right now, I want you to think, who do I spend the most time with? I want you to visualize them right now. Those people are accounting for 95% of your success or failure. So you think about where you're succeeding or where you're failing. The people you're spending time with have a 95% effect. I mean, that's dominant. It's the people you're around are directly responsible for your success or failure. Are you getting that today? All right, I've beat that into your head. Now, what do we do with that? I want to talk to you about the peer factor. So if the people we spend the most time with have that much effect on our success or failure, that means we better take an inventory right now. Are the people I'm hanging out with, are they holding me back professionally, physically, relationally, spiritually? This is real, folks. Your success is directly related to the men and women you are hanging out with. And so I want to give you 3 quick attributes as you begin to now, I hope, sift through, who are the 5 people I spend the most time with? Yikes. Jim Rohn said that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Who are you hanging out with? Are they lifting you? Are they pushing you? Are they holding you accountable? Those are the 3 factors. Let me run through them real quick. You need to be around peers who push you. What do I mean? Think of a running analogy. A couple years ago, I did the half marathon here in Nashville, and I wanted to train with some better runners than me. Why? Because I had experienced running on my own. And when I'm out there on the road pounding and I'm running and I'm on my own, I don't have anybody pushing me. It's just me and the earbuds. But when I'm running with somebody who's a better runner than me, they naturally have a quicker pace than me. And so we might agree on I'm going to run at this pace, but I'm not going to slow down. Whereas when I'm on the road by myself, I'll slow my pace down. Why? Nobody's looking at me. I don't have anybody pushing me. But when I'm running with somebody who's a good runner, who's really after it and intentional, their pace is going to push me to run and try to keep up with them. That's what I mean. So when you're hanging around these people, do you just feel better because you go, man, I like the way they live. I like the way they talk. I like the way they think. They're making things happen in their life. They're doing good things. They got some good stuff happening in their life. I want to be where they are in their marriage. I want to be the kind of parent they are. I want to be where they are professionally. They push you just by their pace. All right, now, the second quality, they lift you. Oh my goodness, this is huge. Listen to me. Some of you right now are down. You're down. But you're one phone call, you're one lunch, one coffee, one interaction away from a great peer lifting you today, lifting you right now, coming alongside of you. You're weary. You're full of doubt. You're overcome with fear. And you need somebody to come right up beside you and lift you. You got this. You can do this. I believe in you. You need peers who want to lift you, and they're there to lift you when you need them. The third factor is hold you accountable. This is a next level from lifting and pushing. This is that next level. And this is where you're sharing with them your goals, your dreams, your visions, your challenges, and they're with you to say, hey, are you doing what you said you were going to do? Are you watching your calories? Are you taking the online course that you said you needed to take? Are you showing up at the gym? Are you reading the book you said you wanted to read? Are you listening to the podcast you said you wanted to listen to? Did you buy the ticket to the conference you said you needed to go to? That's next level. That's holding you accountable. Because they care so deeply for you and they are invested in you. So you better find some peers that you're doing life with that will push you, lift you, and hold you accountable. Now, one other little nugget before I move on. We're going to get back to the phones. But I think there's two types of peers you've got to be aware of. The personal peers you choose. So my wife, Stacy, and I, we got 3 kids. You know, we don't do a lot with other couples, but the ones we do with, because of our season of life, we're very busy. These are couples that we're very intentional to hang out with. And so we're choosing our personal life peers. But our professional peers, think about this for a moment, even here at Ramsey Solutions. I'm doing life right here. I got 6 people in the control room. There are people I meet with every day that are on my team and people on other teams I meet with. And those are professional peers. They're in the same building with me. And not all, I'm not talking about Ramsey Solutions here, but you think about the people you are forced to be around in your professional environment. And if they are toxic, you better stay away from them. You better get away from them. They walk around the corner, you go, whoa, I don't want any of that. I want the juice. I don't want the bitter. I don't want that. Go take your chalky, nasty, sour, spoiled, bitter, and get it out of my way. I don't want to be around you because I'm not immune to it, folks. If I hang around a negative person right now, everything they say from their negative point of view will affect me if I focus on what they just said. But if I'm hanging around positive people and people that are on purpose, oh, that's just pouring more juice. I want the juice. I don't want the nasty, bitter bile. Blah, get rid of that. So you better be intentional because I'm going to talk about a lot of practical things on this show as you become a part of this audience, and I'm so grateful for you. But I don't know that I'll share anything more important than what I just shared because you can do the right things. You can have all the right goals. You can be a good person. And if you hang around the wrong people, they will hold you back. I'm telling you. Like a chain, like being chained to a pole. That's what they will do for you. You will not be able to move forward. And listen, if you don't believe me after what I just said, that's fine. You can go do the research. Go look up that Harvard relationship study. Now, let me tell you one last thing. Some of you are going to begin to realize that the people you're hanging out with are holding you back, and you're going to go, Ken, what do I do, man? I'm loyal to them. I love them. They're good people. They've been good to me. No, look, you got to say, this is where I'm going. Am I living my life or am I living the life they want me to live? And once you determine your direction, you're going to have to understand that a lot of people won't go on the path that you want to go on, and it's going to hurt. But in the end, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Let's go to Josh in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Josh, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how are you? Thanks for taking my call.
I'm living the dream, Josh. What's going on?
Awesome. It's an honor to speak with you today. So my situation is I graduated from college about 3.5 years ago. I got my bachelor's in business, and then I got my master's in accounting when I got my CPA license. And for this was pretty much my master's year where I kind of realized I didn't want to do accounting because I had an internship before that, and I just went right on through. And Just trying to figure out what to do, because I really don't want my degree and my license to go to waste. I want to put it to good use, but I want to figure out where I can be the highest value to others. And right now I'm at a cubicle desk job and don't really like it. Hold on.
You're all over the place, Josh, and you're thinking the wrong way. You just told us that you don't like accounting. So is there a way for you to use that CPA degree that doesn't involve accounting?
Probably. I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Well, but that's easy for you to figure out. You're acting like that's a hard to solve mystery. It's really not. That you can solve in about 20 minutes of focused research online. You know, what are all the ways a CPA can add value to an organization? But you may have to work your way up there. And so if that's C-suite type stuff, then you may have to do some accounting to get there, and you may have to bite the bullet to do that. And so therein lies what's wrong with your thinking today. And I want to encourage you on this. What is it that you really want to do? Because I think you just feel guilty that you did all this education and you're like, man, I got to use it, Ken. And I go, do you? I mean, Josh, do you really have to use all that education? Do you have to, Josh?
No, I guess not.
No, Josh, what is it that you want to do? Why don't you be free for a moment, Josh? Just forget what everybody thinks. I'm on your team. Tell me what you would do tomorrow if I guaranteed you'd be successful, you couldn't fail.
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I love listening to like the Dave Ramsey show and your show about
Josh. I'm going to interrupt you, man. I handed you the ball and you're trying to hand the ball back to me. It doesn't work that way. I don't care if you're 100% sure. I want 70%. I want 40%. I want the 20% answer. Josh, will you just freaking share your heart? Josh, if I could give you something to do tomorrow that I guaranteed you'd be successful, that you could not fail, and you wouldn't have to dedicate the rest of your life to it, it'd be a fun adventure. Josh, what would you try?
I would definitely do personal coaching and personal finance coaching.
Personal coaching. Now, how hard was that, Josh? Tell me why. And I don't want any more mamby-pamby, Josh. I want real Josh. Josh, why would you want to coach? Why? Tell me the why. Say it.
So coaching, I would just love to just help people and add value to them, because so many other people around me in my life have added value to me, and I just see that it was just such an impact on me, and it was a huge impact. So I want to be that light unto others and add value where people are hurting and struggling. And for my upbringing, it was personal finance. My parents struggled with it, and then I was struggling with it in the beginning. So I want to help people kind of get out of that rut and that rat race of just, being broke and thinking they have to stay broke the rest of their life.
Josh, we got to go in just a couple of minutes, so we got to wind this thing down. But you know what you just did? You just laid out a beautiful purpose statement. It was long-winded. It was a little around the block, but did you hear your why come out of your chest?
I did. I felt that.
How did it feel?
It felt amazing.
It felt pretty darn good. So now, Josh, you want to be a coach. Let's just keep it as simple as that. You love the idea of coaching people. You enjoy the function, the role of coaching, yes or no?
Yes.
All right, then. So now it's about who do you want to coach? And you want to coach people financially. Now, let's just get real for a quick second. Launching your own financial coaching business is not easy. That is a straight up entrepreneurial adventure, man. Okay. And so there's no, you don't just walk down the street and it's not like an H&R Block on the corner. You go, oh, financial coachings are us. Okay, great. I want to apply and send me a bunch of people that I can coach. You're going to have to build this. So this is a side hustle. This is a labor of love that you're going to have to start, and you're going to have to grow and pour your guts out to do it. Okay. And that's what you're going to have to do. So you're going to have to keep a day job while you launch this dream job and get it to the point that it replaces your day job. And you can get there. I'm telling you, Josh, you can get there, but it's going to take time. Are you willing to do what it takes? Everybody goes, yeah, Ken. And then I say, are you willing to wait as long as it takes? And everybody goes, ooh, I don't know. So Josh, if you're willing to wait and hustle and get there, you'll get there. Well, that's going to do it for my time. But before I let you go, I want you to know that you do matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.